Okay. I want to kind of wait a few minutes just to get a couple of people to log in. In the meantime, so hopefully my dogs don't go crazy. There's Lucy. Say hi, Lucy. And that's Sassy. She's resting. But anyway, I don't know how many people are logged on, but I'm just going to get this started. I want to be brief. So it came to my attention last week, Tuesday night, that one of our veterans is actually being held at the Macomb County Jail. I just found this out Tuesday night, and so Wednesday, I sent one of the veterans down to the jail. He's actually one of my assistants. He works for Vets Returning Home and for my company. And anyway, I gave him a $100 bill. I said, go down there, put some money on his commissary account, and schedule a visit so that I can come. I'm a veteran advocate. I'm like the only one. Actually, I don't know of anybody else in Macomb County that would go out of their way to help him, but whatever. So, turns out, according to the internet and their website and all that stuff, it says now that they only do one in-person visit. So you get to go to the jail. If you have a loved one in the jail, you get to see them one time. And of course, it's behind the glass where they pick up a phone and you pick up a phone and whatever. I've done that many times with veterans that have been incarcerated or, held there. And so anyway, went to do that. And then they said, oh, no, we don't do that anymore. No in-person visits. None. Okay, so it might be nice if they would update their information online, but whatever. But it says you can do visits by Zoom, and you get the first one free. You get to pay for all the rest. So if you want to visit your loved one while they're in jail, you get the one visit via Zoom for free. So whatever, fine. Schedule me the visit. I need to talk to this veteran. He's disabled. I want to make sure he's got his meds. I need to see what I can do to get him a pro bono attorney. So I want to talk to him about what this all entails. And so anyway, let's book the one visit online free. That's not true either. You pay for every visit. So there is no free anything. It took me on Wednesday, the Thursday was booked and Friday was booked. So the soonest I could get was Monday, which was today. I was scheduled to have a Zoom meeting visit with this veteran at 10 minutes after 10 this morning. And so I was online, live, connected, whatever. It said just click to join. And I tried for 20 minutes, so from 10 o'clock until 20 after. And I finally just gave up. Closed out, went back in, and no connection. So, fine, I missed the appointment, reschedule it. You only get one a week. And evidently, my attempt was used up. So, it says I can come back and visit and try again next week. Okay, so I don't know about everybody in the community, not everyone has ever even had to visit anyone in jail. And, thank God. But we never know of when this is going to happen. It could happen to any one of us. I personally feel like our judicial system has been weaponized against us. And this is not, this is a bipartisan issue because it affects I don't care which, it's not racist. It has nothing to do with race. It has nothing to do with gender. It has nothing to do with politics. Okay, this affects us all in some way or another. Your neighbor, your kids, your grandkids, your friends, right? And so, long story short, I do want to give some kudos to Pete Lucido, our Macomb County prosecutor, because anytime I have an issue with veterans, Pete is the only one that will hear me, okay? He will hear me, and he will at least give me some guidance and suggestions. So he suggested that I contact the commander, because when I call the jail, you don't get to talk to a person. There is no person. You get an extensive, press this for this option, that for that option. There is nothing you can do to talk to a person. And at least I couldn't anyway. I couldn't figure it out. So I press 0, right? Give me an operator. Maybe an operator can direct me to a person. No, I get the clerk's office. Clerk transfers me to the jail so I can talk to somebody. They pick up the phone and don't say hello. They just hang up. Like, answer, click, right? So that's when I called Pete. Pete gave me the commander. So I call again. I get the clerk again. I say I need to speak to Commander Abro. He pushes me down to the sergeant, and the sergeant calls me back, and he's like, yeah, we fixed it. We credited back your money, and we cleared it so you can schedule a visit for tomorrow. And I said, well, what happens tomorrow if I can't connect? Then what? I get to start this process all over again? You know, and the real point of this, and the reason that I'm reaching out to the community is that these are our public servants. We pay for them, right? I was hung up on 3 times, actually. 2 times was just pick up the phone, click, like answer, click, not even a hello. And the other one, I called Ambro's office back and I told his assistant or whoever, receptionist, I told her, I said, hey, I'm calling back as a courtesy. I just want to let you know that I'm done, all right? And the sergeant didn't really fix my issue, okay? He basically said, too bad, so sad. If you don't connect tomorrow, I don't know what to tell you, you know? Start the process all over again. She said, why are you calling here threatening us? And I just said to her, I said, listen, this is not a threat. I'm just giving you the courtesy of a heads up that I'm going to put this out on social media, right? And let's see how, I would like to know, anybody who sees this video, how many people have had the same issue that I had? Because I'm going to tell you something. I have a big voice in Macomb County. I know all of our elected officials. I call them out daily. You know, and again, Pete Lucido is about the only one that I can say absolutely thank you. When Pete was a senator, he helped me with the veterans, and now he's the prosecutor, and he helps as best he can, but he doesn't, you know, he has power in the prosecutor's office, but he doesn't have power in all these other departments, and I really feel like, you know, we're losing control, and we need, if we don't find our voice, we're not going to fix anything. We need to stand up. We need to, and I don't even know if what they're doing is legal. I would think that there would be some kind of constitutional right for people that are being incarcerated to be able to have visitors from their loved ones, you know. And the guy kind of laughed at me, the sergeant, when I said, if I can't penetrate through this ridiculous system that you have, how is the average person? Because I can call Pete on his cell phone. How many people out there listening to that can pick up the phone and call our prosecutor on his cell phone? Now, not many. I know that. So if I can't get through this system, how many of you can get through it? You know, and I would like to know, give me your stories. Tell me what kind of nightmares you've had in trying to visit your loved ones in jail. And then I called one of our veterans who used to stay at Veterans Training Home, who was actually in prison at one time, and he's now a pastor, and he's doing great. And but I called him and I said, Sam, is this happening in prisons too? I mean, people that are in prison. And he said, Sandy, you have to jump through so many hoops to be able to visit anyone in prison that most people give up. And I'm telling you, what happens is that they want us divided. Now they want families divided from prisoners. They want blacks divided from whites, and straights divided from the gays, and the Christians divided from the non-Christians, and the left divided from the right. And people, please, we have got to realize we are in this fight together. And I need help with this issue. And we need to find our voice. So reach back to me, send me a message, Let me know your story, your testimony, and I don't know if we have to man the phones and start calling and saying this is unacceptable, but I don't know about you, but I didn't vote for this. How is it that these people that we hire to do a job for us get to arbitrarily just make these decisions that affect our lives? It's unacceptable. And, they said, well, we went to the Zoom thing because it's so much cheaper. It saves so much money. Really? Then did you lower my taxes? All I know is there's been increases. And on top of that, not only do they save on the personnel that has to manage these visits, but now they charge the visitor to sit on Zoom, and you pay whether you connect or not. And nobody cares if you get to see your loved one or not. So that's my rant. I think that, we need to start somewhere. And this is one bipartisan issue that we should all be able to join in on. And, I don't know, get a hold of Wickersham. I'm here in Macomb County. But I will say this. If it's happening in Macomb County, chances are it's happening all over the state. So, I know I have a pretty big reach. I'm hoping that people up north and, people on the west side of the state find out what's happening in your county and what, if it's happening all over, then all the more reason we've got to put a stop to this. We need to take back these public elected officials and the hired ones. If you're not elected and you're just selected, even more so. Okay, but you don't get to call the shots on policies and all these things that actually affect human lives and the futures of our families. So I'm going to close with that because I could continue to rant, and I don't want to do that. Please help me get this out, and let's make a difference, and we can start here. Thank you so much, and I appreciate you all. On behalf of Vets Returning Home, thank you. And share this as much as you can so that we can get this word out. I've sent it to my connections in Nashville, in Arizona, and whatever, because I want to find out what's happening all over the country, let alone just what's happening in Macomb County, because it's not good. Thank you.